Ernest Shackleton and the Endurance Expedition, 1914 to 1917. The story of the Endurance is arguably the greatest survival feat in human history. It is a tale of how a mission of discovery transformed into a 22-month battle against the most hostile environment on Earth. In August 1914, as Europe descended into World War I, Sir Ernest Shackleton set sail on the Imperial Trans-Antarctic Expedition. His goal was ambitious: to be the first to cross the Antarctic continent on foot. He commanded a crew of 27 men, plus a cat named Mrs. Chippy, aboard the Endurance, a coal-powered sailing ship designed to withstand ice. However, the 1914 season brought an unusually heavy pack ice flow. By January 1915, within sight of the Antarctic coast, the ship became frozen like an almond in a piece of toffee. For 10 months, the crew lived aboard the stuck ship, drifting slowly with the ice currents. Shackleton maintained strict discipline and morale with soccer games on the ice and evening sing-alongs. But the ice was a slow executioner. In October 1915, the pressure of the shifting floes began to crush the hull. Shackleton gave the order to abandon ship. The crew salvaged what they could: supplies, lifeboats, and photographs, and watched as the Endurance finally splintered and sank beneath the Weddell Sea on November 21, 1915. Now castaways, the men camped on unstable ice floes for 5 months. They survived on seal meat and blubber, using the latter for fuel. As the ice moved north into warmer waters, it began to crack and melt beneath their feet. On April 9, 1916, Shackleton ordered the men into 3 small, open lifeboats: the James Caird, the Dudley Docker, and the Stancomb Wills. After 5 harrowing days of rowing through freezing spray and gale-force winds, they reached Elephant Island, a desolate, uninhabited rock. It was the first time they had touched solid ground in 497 days. Shackleton knew no one would ever find them on Elephant Island. He made a desperate decision. He would take 5 men in the best lifeboat, the James Caird, and sail 800 miles across the screaming 60s, the deadliest stretch of ocean on the planet, to reach a whaling station on South Georgia Island. For 16 days, they battled 60-foot waves and hurricane winds. Using only a sextant and rare glimpses of the sun for navigation, Frank Worsley miraculously guided them to South Georgia. However, a hurricane forced them to land on the uninhabited southern coast. To reach the whaling station on the other side, Shackleton, Worsley, and Tom Crean had to climb a 3,000-foot mountain range that had never been mapped. With only 50 feet of rope and brass screws driven into their boots for grip, they hiked for 36 hours straight until they heard the sound of a steam whistle. When the 3 bedraggled, salt-encrusted figures walked into the Stromness whaling station, the manager didn't recognize them. Shackleton simply asked, "Who are you?" And he replied, "My name is Shackleton." It took 4 attempts over 4 months to break through the ice to reach the rest of the crew on Elephant Island. On August 30, 1916, the Chilean tug Yelko finally appeared. Shackleton stood on the bow counting the figures on the beach. He shouted to Worsley, "They are all there, every one of them." Despite losing their ship and being stranded for nearly 2 years in the most extreme conditions on Earth, not a single member of Shackleton's crew died under his command.